Hey, this is Mr. G with a tutorial, another tutorial on Paint.net. Today, we're going to talk about the PNG picture file format and how it's useful in graphic design. Today, I'm going to show you how to put text behind a character that's in a picture and how to do that and how exactly to do that. Well, first, I'm going to go ahead and get I've got Paint.net open here. I've got my layers, and I'm going to go to Paint, and I'm going to find a picture of Shrek. Okay, so here's a picture of Shrek. I'm going to click on it. I can see the picture. I'm going to copy the image by right-clicking, and I go to Copy Image. I'm going to go back to Paint.net. Okay, so in Paint.net, I'm going to paste that picture. I'm going to stick him right here. Now, right now, he is he's got a solid. In fact, I'm going to put him on a new layer. I like to put everything on its own layer just because. And if you could see, there's a white background behind him. And so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to get a background, and I'm going to show you how we do this. I'm going to go, I just typed in outer space background. I'm going to put Shrek in outer space. Why not? So I'm going to right click and copy image, and I'm using Google Chrome for this activity. So now I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to drag that layer so it is beneath Shrek and paste it. I'm going to just say keep canvas size. I'm going to stretch this picture out to fit my image. Now, I've got Shrek with a white box around him in outer space, which it's okay, but I'd really like to get rid of this white box. So I'm going to make this picture transparent. A really great thing, if you have a solid white background or a solid colored background, it's much easier to get rid of. And you can see there are clear lines around Shrek. It's really easy to see the background. Now you can do this with like let's say this is a picture of Shrek in the forest. You could also do it that way. One way to do it is you get the eraser tool and you just turn the eraser on and you just start erasing, and make sure you're on the right layer. I'm on the Shrek layer, and I'm going to start erasing that background. Now, the easier way to do this is to get the magic wand and click on the white, and it kind of operates just like the paint bucket tool. When I click here, it's going to select all of the touching white. Now you'll see that it picked up some of his arms, and what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to drag this tolerance until his arms disappear. Now I'm going to hit the delete key, and it got rid of almost everything. You see there's a little bit left here, and I'm going to use the eraser, and I'm going to make the eraser a lot bigger, and I'm going to go in and just clean that up. Now I've got Shrek floating in space, and that is how you take a PNG. Now, the other fun things you can do, let's say, for example, I'm going to look up a when you do your search, I'm going to write crown PNG and check this out. I'm going to look for a picture of a crown. I like this one right here. So I'm going to click on it. And if you look at the picture, wait for it. There's a little load bar. You'll get the checkerboard. Okay, so I have the crown PNG, and you'll notice that it is a checkerboard background, which means that it's transparent. So now if I copy this image, right click, copy image, I'm going to go back to Paint.net. Now, in theory, I'm going to create a new layer. I just say always create a new layer, and to be safe, you double click on a layer and you rename it. So I'm going to rename this crown. This is just a good practice to be in, especially if you have lots and lots of layers. I'm going to paste the crown, and look at that. The crown is already invisible, and then I can just take these little handles and shrink it down so it fits Shrek's head, and I can remember that if you put your mouse right outside of those circles, it turns into a, see that? 2 arrows, and then I can tilt it a little bit so it fits on his head, and bow. There you go. I've got Shrek in a crown floating in outer space. And then if you want to add other things like a necklace or a spaceship flying by, you look for spaceship, and then you can either put .png or just write PNG, and you will find lots and lots of images. Now, if you're using Google Chrome, I don't know how this works in Firefox, but when you click on them, you do need to wait for them to load so that you see the background. If you don't, now let's say I like this crown. Now let's do a planet. Planet. P-L-A-N-E-T, planet PNG. Okay, and I'm going to look for a planet. I'm going to just click on, that one's kind of cool looking. I'm going to wait for it and wait for that checkerboard background to appear. And I'm going to look at the size. Okay, so I'm going to copy this image. It's got that checkerboard background. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to add another layer, and I'm going to paste it. Oh, that's cool. Now it's on top of him. I want to put it behind him, so I'm going to drag it underneath Shrek. So the planet is kind of in the background and sort of, you know, oops. I'm going to try that again. Put it back in so when it first came in. I'm going to shrink it. I'm going to drag it back here, and I'm going to stick it under Shrek. So it's kind of behind him. Well, maybe I'll make it bigger. Maybe it looks cool if it's like a bigger planet. Yeah, I like that looks better. Hit enter. Now I've got Shrek with a crown floating in space with a giant planet behind him. And that it only took me a few minutes. And you can use your creativity to add whatever you want to your image. And then, for example, if I want to have text, I guess I was going to start with this, but if I was going to add text behind him, I just add a new layer. And maybe I'm going to write Shrek in space. I'm going to make this super large so it fits behind him. That just depends on how large your image is. Shrek in space. And I like to have text to show that it's behind something by just making it a little bit. You can see there's just a little bit overlapped by the crown, just giving it the illusion that it's really behind him. And of course you can always do other weird things by, like, you can fade the text out so it's sort of see-through just for fun. And there's our final image. I'm going to zoom out so we can see the whole thing, Shrek in space. So you can play along at home by finding your own PNG image, cleaning it up. If you can find an image but there's no PNG of it, then you go in and use the eraser tool and you zoom in and you clean it up as best you can. And that will give you a really great image to work with to create your own custom image. Thanks a lot. This is Mr. G, a little Paint.net tutorial, and today's lesson working with PNGs and transparent backgrounds. Have a great day.